Welcome all my dear students to Sudharma's physics classroom. Today I am going to discuss about electric current from the chapter electricity of CBSE grade 10. If you are watching this video for the first time, watch the part 1 of this video so that you get an idea about the basic terms related with electric current. So in the first part of this series, I have discussed about charge, voltage, potential difference, electric potential, etc. So watch that video and come back to this so that the learning will be more effective. So let's learn about electric current. What is electric current? Electric current is defined as the rate of flow of charges. Electric current is represented by the letter I, and it is the rate of flow of charge through a conductor. So rate of flow of charge, that means I equals Q divided by T. This is how we calculate electric current flowing through a conductor. Once again, electric current I equals Q divided by T. I is used to represent the electric current and Q is the charge. Okay, so Q is charge and T is time. So that is why we define electric current as rate of flow of charge through a conductor. Now let's see what is the unit of electric current. I hope you remember the unit of charge. Unit of charge is Coulomb, right? Unit of charge is Coulomb and unit of time is second. Coulombs per second, or in some books you can see that Coulomb second raised to minus 1, right? So all these are representing one important SI unit, that is ampere. Okay, ampere. Ampere is the SI unit of electric current. Okay, ampere is represented by the letter A. Don't get confused with I and A. I is the representation for electric current and ampere is A, right? A is the unit. Whenever you see A along with a value, that means A is the unit, that means it is ampere. That much amount of current is flowing through the conductor. Clear? So let me ask you a question. If you get an MCQ question, which of the physical quantities is represented by Coulomb second raised to minus 1? So you can write the answer as current. Okay, so we have learned the equation for current and the SI unit of current. Now how do we measure this current? For measuring any quantity we need a device. So to measure electric current we have the device which is called as ammeter. Okay, the device used to measure electric current is ammeter. So here in this diagram you can see an ammeter. So this measures the current in ampere. You can observe the needle is pointing towards 0 and it can measure up to 5 amperes. So you may see some ammeters which marks microampere, milliampere, etc. So microampere means that's equal to 10 power minus 6 amperes. Milliampere means 10 power minus 3 amperes. Okay, so we need these types of conversions whenever we have to solve the numericals, because any numerical when we solve, that should be all the values should be converted into SI unit. So if you are given a value in terms of microampere or milliampere, this is how you are going to convert it into SI unit. Hope you understood that. Now you can see two terminals here, right? So this will be representing the positive and negative terminal. And how do we connect this into a circuit? We have to connect an ammeter in series with a circuit. So yesterday we discussed how do we connect a voltmeter in a circuit, right? A voltmeter has to be connected in parallel to a conductor. Voltmeter measures the potential difference between 2 points in a conductor and ammeter measures the current. So if you have a bulb This is how we represent a bulb, and I want to measure the amount of current flowing through this bulb. So I'll be connecting this to a cell or a battery, and there is a key in the circuit, and I want to measure how much current flows through this bulb. So to measure that, I'm going to connect an ammeter like this. So this is the representation for ammeter. We have a separate discussion for circuit symbols. I'll do a separate video for that. So this is how we connect ammeter in series. Series and parallel connection, detailed discussion comes in the same chapter. So no need to worry about how do you understand it is series or parallel, right? I will explain that in detail when we come to the series and parallel combination of resistors. Okay, so once again explaining all this, ammeter is a current measuring device, and amperes can be measured in microamperes or milliamperes. These are the smaller unit of current, and 1 microampere is equal to 10 power minus 6 amperes, and 1 milliampere is equal to 10 power minus 3 amperes, and ammeter has to be connected in series in a circuit. Now let's understand how current flows in a circuit. How does the current flows in a circuit? So when we have to discuss about the flow of current, let's think about the classification of materials as conductors, insulators, and semiconductors, right? Why do we have that type of a classification? Conductors, what is special about these conductors? What comes to your mind when I say the word conductor? Conductor, we have good conductors of electricity and good conductors of heat, right? So what makes special about these conductors? Of course, it is the free electrons, right? Every conductor is characterized by free electrons. What do you mean by free electrons then? Free, right? You are free to move, right? If you say free electron, they are free to move in the conductor. So here, imagine this is a copper conductor, and there are a lot of free electrons. These are the electrons I represented here. So let's say how these free electrons move, right? Free electrons, they can move randomly on this conductor. That's the meaning of free electrons. So every metal is characterized by free electrons. Lot of free electrons in the outermost shell, right? So I can compare this with a classroom without a teacher, isn't it? How do you behave within the classroom if the teacher is not there, right? Imagine that. Of course, we will be talking to each other, we'll be sitting here and there, right? So we are free to move within the classroom at that point of time, correct? Now the teacher comes to the classroom. What happens at that time? All will be very disciplined, right? Now you cannot move randomly, am I right? Now you cannot move randomly here and there. So what do? So you will be sitting in a disciplined manner, right? So who is the teacher in this case here? Who is the teacher coming to your classroom now? Battery, right? A battery is connected to the conductor. Now these free electrons will not be moving randomly. Let's see how, okay? So here you can see a big line and a small line, right? So the bigger line, the longer line represents the positive terminal of the battery, and smaller line represents the negative terminal of the battery. So let's recall the concept of potential difference. Yesterday we were talking about potential difference. Potential difference is between 2 points in an electric circuit. So positive, you can understand that it is at higher potential, and negative is at lower potential. So here we have the positive polarity, and here we have the negative polarity. And we know that electrons are negatively charged. So what happens now? These electrons start moving towards the positive terminal. Hope you are understanding the concept. So these free electrons who were randomly moving before, right, when there was no battery connected, now they start moving in one particular direction, that is towards the positive end of the battery. So understand, this is one of the most important concepts related with electric current. Electrons are moving from negative to positive. Electrons, Okay, electrons are moving from negative to positive end of the battery. Another interesting thing is coming now. We are going to understand the conventional direction of current. When you draw an electric circuit, in which direction you have to mark the current, right? So we have to mark the current in the direction from positive to negative of the battery. So once again, understand the concepts clearly. Electrons are moving from negative to positive end of the battery, and the direction of conventional current is from positive to negative end of the battery. How does it come, right? We can understand that from this knowledge, we can say that the direction of current is opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, just concrete that in your mind. Direction of current is opposite to the flow of electrons, opposite to the flow of negative charges. This concept is required in the coming chapter also, that is magnetism, electric current and magnetism. So understand very clearly, electrons moves from negative to positive end of the battery, and current flows from positive to negative end of the battery, and direction of current is the motion of the direction is opposite to the flow of electrons. Now, how do you justify this, right? Let's see what happens. I have two tumblers, say we have water in it. Okay, so we have water. Here I kept it at the same level and I filled water in the same level in both the containers. Does water flow from beaker 1 to beaker 2 in this case? What do you think? We have the water tank at the top floor of our building, right? We don't keep water tank at the ground level. What would be the reason for that? When they are at the same level, the water will not flow. There should be a height difference. There should be a pressure difference for the flow of water, right? So if I keep this beakers, again, the same beakers, if I keep at different levels, right? One is at a lower height and the other one is at a height. So in this case, water will flow from 1 to 2. Why I am saying this in this example? Because whenever there is a difference in the pressure, right, then the water is flowing. Think about the flow of heat. Whenever there is a difference in temperature, that means in one body if more heat is there and in the other one less heat, then heat flows from hot body to a cold body. That means there should be a difference, right? In different situations, we can say that the difference in that particular quantity, right, that makes the flow. So here the pressure, right, water pressure at a height and a lower height, that difference makes the flow of water. If they are at the same height, then there is no difference in the water pressure, so water will not flow. So let's compare this with the situation of flow of current. So here I told you the current flows from positive to negative end of the battery. So positive to negative means higher potential to a lower potential. Higher potential to a lower potential, right? So that concept, I hope it will be clear with that example. Higher potential, electric current flows from higher potential to lower potential. Okay, so electric current flows from high potential to low potential. So high potential is represented by this positive end of the battery and low potential represented by the negative end of the battery. So electric current is the rate of flow of charges, and equation for electric current is Q by T. Current is measured in amperes, and conductors are characterized by the lot of free electrons on its surface, and once a potential difference is applied across the ends of this conductor, current starts flowing from positive to negative end of the battery. So read the textbook, read NCERT textbook and understand, confirm all the things in your mind. Watch the first video of this series. I'll be coming with more important concepts in the coming videos. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you get notifications when I upload new classes. So thank you for watching. See you soon.